Greetings, jovial, philosophical, wandering Sagittarius. My name is Eliane Nicole. I'm an astrologer and tarot reader, and now I'm going to do the July 2020 forecast for Sagittarius. I'm going to do a tarot reading, and I am going to talk about the transits, the planetary transits in the second half of the video. And I recommend that you watch the videos for your sun, moon, and rising sign. If you don't know your sun, moon, and rising sign, then I definitely recommend that you contact me for a reading. Everyone should have their chart done, their birth chart done at least once in a lifetime with a real, actual reader, not just on the computer. And as we enter the month of July, Sagittarius, you look very active, forward movement. This could be literal travel or journey, or just a lot of action happening. And you are covered by the Nine of Pentacles, which has to do with prosperity, financial independence, and things like that. You're crossed by the Star, and this is the one card in the layout that is not upright or reversed. It's horizontal, and so it has to do with your tikkun. It has to do with what the Kabbalists call your tikkun, which means your karmic correction. So it's your spiritual work in this cycle, and it's really about self-care, serenity, and faith in the universal order of things. The basis of the situation. The moon reverse, so it looks like around the eclipse on July 4th on the west coast, wee hours of July 5th on the east coast, some things will be coming up, things from the past, things with the mother, with roots, with legacy, with home. These kinds of issues could be coming up for Sagittarius around this time. What's leaving is the Three of Cups, so this is a time of maybe celebrating with friends about something. What could come into being is the High Priestess. This is an older and wiser woman who holds the secrets and has insight and understanding. What will come into being, this is a man who looks out of alignment around the 16th to the 18th. This could be a fire sign, if it's for Sagittarius men, this is probably you. You might be feeling stunted, like you don't know what action to take, or in a state of inaction somehow. For Sagittarius women, it could be that there's a man in your life who is in, not taking action right now. Fears or insecurities. The Emperor. This is about male authority figure. For some, a fear or insecurity. It could be, for men, this could be around your duties as a husband or boss or landlord or father. For women, it could mean that you have an insecurity around a male authority figure in your life. Others see you as the Four of Swords. So others see you as coming out of a period of reflection, retreat, being away, quiet contemplation, and having turned around some of your ideas about something. Your positive feelings towards the end of the month, you feel very positive about not working. So I guess you're taking some time off and taking it easy. And the outcome is the Five of Rods. So it looks like towards the end of July, Sagittarius, there could be a little conflict or struggle happening. And I believe that coincides with Mars entering the shadow period of retrograde, and it's in Aries, which trines Sagittarius, so that could spark up some energy, which is a perfect segue into the transit portion of this reading. July 1st, we have just, at the end of June, Mars just entered Aries. So as we enter July, Mars is at 1 degree Aries, and so that is a kick of punch. Energy. Mars is how we go for our goals. Mars is our drive, our libido, how we go for our desires, our competitive nature. And so Mars is traveling through the 5th house of joys and pleasures, fun and games and hobbies. It's the house of children. So there's going to be a lot of motivation and action and activity in that house for Sagittarius through the whole of July. Also, July 1st, Capricorn is retrograding, Saturn is retrograding into the sign of Capricorn from Aquarius, where it's been for the past 3 months. So this is going to be a significant shift in the energy around work and structure and things like that from that June to July, or from last quarter to where we're going in July. And that is happening for Sagittarius in the second house of finances and resources. So there may be some restructuring and re-strategizing around money and possessions for you during this time. In general, the second house is a really active house for Sagittarius in the month of July. So those second house issues of finances, resources, possessions, and also value systems are a really big theme for Sagittarius in the month of July. Another thing that's happening in that house is the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, which formed an exact at the end of June, but the impact is, we're still feeling it in the beginning of July. The impact of this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is something that we've been feeling the entire year, but it hit exact April 4th, the second exact June 30th, and the final exact will be November 12th. And so astrologically, we have seen, particularly in America, that that's associated with the rises in the virus. The timing has really been, clear. April 4th, then June 30th, we saw another. So we can expect that again in November 12th. And stick with me, I'll keep reading and keeping you up on things as the months go along. But that is the collective manifestation, is what we're experiencing with the virus. And Jupiter and Pluto wasn't the only part of that, but it's a significant part of that we can look at for timing. In our personal lives, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction will manifest differently than it's manifesting for the collective. Again, for Sagittarius, this is happening in your second house of finances and resources. There really is an opportunity for expansion of wealth and power during this phase with Jupiter and Pluto in your second house. There's also an opportunity for the influence of a powerful person in your life in that area. And there's also just the possibility for you to transform that place in your life around money and resources and possessions and value systems during this time. July 4th is the penumbral lunar eclipse at 13 degrees Cancer. Also happening, this is the full moon eclipse at 13 degrees Capricorn, the July 4th, 9:44 p.m. on the West Coast. It'll be the wee hours of the morning on the East Coast, and if you're anywhere else in the world, you can do the math. But that is the lunar eclipse in Capricorn for Sagittarius. That's, again, your second house of money and resources, and full moons are culminations. Things are coming to a head. It's a time for letting go of something. Sometimes full moons, particularly lunar eclipses, they bring up the shadow in ourselves or others in the area of our life that they show up in our chart. Sometimes that can be shocking, but it's important that this comes out because it needs to be dealt with, it needs to be integrated, we need to evolve, and that's what this is all about. And so that's happening on the 4th. On July 6th, Ceres goes retrograde in Pisces, bringing up questions for you around how you nurture your home environment, how you're allowing yourself to be nurtured in your home environment. July 12th, Mercury goes direct after being retrograde since June 17th. So the first couple of weeks of July, we're still in that Mercury retrograde phase. Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Cancer. Mercury is communication. Cancer is very sensitive and very emotional. So this Mercury retrograde period was characterized by some emotional communication, outbursts, exchanges, and for Sagittarius, this was specifically happening in your 8th house, which is a very deep house. The 8th house is the house of sex, death, rebirth, regeneration, transformation. It's also the house of elimination. It's also the house that deals with other people's money. So if you have any issues around wills, inheritances, settlements, alimony, loan, debt, all of that stuff is 8th house stuff. And so the Mercury retrograde period could have brought emotional communication in that area for you. If so, then those things will start to be resolved once Mercury goes direct July 12th. But it won't happen overnight. Mercury will be in the retrograde period until the 26th or 27th of July, when it returns to the degree that it was when it went retrograde in the first place. And so more along those lines is when, you know, the total clear up should be taking place of any Mercury retrograde and Cancer issues you may have experienced. July 20th is the new moon in Cancer. It's the black moon in Cancer. It's a very powerful new moon. It's the black moon because it's our second new moon in Cancer in the same season. The first new moon in Cancer was June 20th in the sign of it's 0 degrees Cancer, which was very powerful. It was the world point that was conjuncting, and it was just a powerful time for a new start. We get a second chance to recommit to this new start with this black moon. So we're getting double the cosmic push to start anew in these areas of our life that are kicking off really several long-term cycles. A 13-year cycle is being kicked off, a 19-year cycle is being kicked off, and a 36-year cycle is being kicked off. So this is a really important time, Sagittarius, to get very clear on what your intentions are going forward, and particularly in these areas of home, of the mother, of family, of your roots, of your ancestors, your legacy, land, wealth. All of these areas, the home, I think I said that, are areas of the Cancer new moon. And then for Sagittarius, that new moon brings in also these 8th house issues, because that's where it's emerging for you. So the 8th house issues, sex, death, rebirth, regeneration, transformation, elimination, other people's money, all of those things you can set intentions around at this black moon, very powerful black moon of Cancer. And July 22nd, the sun moves into Leo. And so Leo season, I think, is going to be much more enjoyable for Sagittarius than Cancer season was. Leo season is going to bring a burst of energy and fun and activity. And it's another fire sign. It's trine to your sign, Sagittarius. And so it will be leaving your 8th house, the sun, where it's been in Cancer, and it'll be going into your 9th house, which is the house of travel and exploration and philosophy and higher education and higher truth and all of these very, lofty 9th house things. 9th house also rules publishing and broadcasting for people who are involved in that. 9th house also rules, cross-cultural experiences, and dealing with people from other countries and international things. So all of that is going to be very, I think, fun and buoyant for Sagittarius once we get to the later part of July, the last week of July and into August. And then July 27th, we have this very beautiful aspect of Jupiter sextile Neptune that's happening, and that's going to be bringing together your 2nd house and your 4th house. So that is going to be, for creative people, I think it's very inspiring. It can be very transcendent spiritually as well. For you, it's bringing together, these issues of the home, legacy, roots, ancestors, the mother, together with your value systems, your finances, and your resources. And this is going to be coming together in some kind of inspiring way towards the end of the month. So look forward to that, Sagittarius. And that's it for the reading. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please hit the notification button so you're notified when I upload new videos. Please share this video with other Sagittarius that you know. And please follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. And please contact me directly for your own personal reading. I can read on Zoom. And I love doing it, and I think that working with an astrologer and a tarot reader can be a very powerful, very empowering experience and tool in the journey of life. So I look forward to reading for you soon. Have a wonderful July, Sagittarius.